All right. So, quick thing. All right. Since we had that really, really wild question last time, quick question.
Okay.
Question of the episode, I guess. Maybe that's what we call it.
Oh.
Whoa. Wait. We
Trap.
got to come up with something better than that, but.
For now, that's what it is.
Yeah. Question of the episode. All right. So, question of the episode is, what superpower would you have? One. Okay. It's a multi-layer question.
Okay.
What superpower would you have? Okay.
Okay.
And also, where would your base be, and would you be a hero or a villain? And what would be your mission?
Mission. All right, so I would be a hero. I don't want to be a villain. I don't have an evil bone in my body, so I wouldn't be able to do it. I might be one of those people that starts as a villain and realizes they're not supposed to be a villain, but I don't think that's going to happen either. I think I'd just be a hero. Where would I be based? I'm just going to stick in New York. I could pick somewhere else because there's a lot of heroes in New York, but I don't know. I'd base in New York at least. Maybe. Let me think about that one. So you get one power?
Yeah. Let's go
one power.
You have one power.
Okay.
You have one power. Okay, you have one power, but you have a stupid weakness.
Ooh.
Like, for example, you could be able to fly, but you can only fly when there's no clouds in the sky.
And then you can never fly. There's always clouds in the sky.
Or let's say you can only or like clear skies. Like, I've never seen clear skies.
Okay. Well, if I were to pick one, it'd be invincibility. But I don't know what my weakness would be then. There'd have to be something. Even Superman had a weakness, right?
Okay. Well, let's do this. Whatever my superpower is, you come up with a weakness for, and whatever yours is, I'll come up with a weakness for.
All right, so you have to come up with my weakness because mine would be invincibility.
Invincibility? Okay. Your invincibility?
Because your weaknesses with invincibility would be like you're not as fast, you're not as strong, you can't fly, but like you can take any punch, you can take any shot, you can take all that stuff. That's what I would be thinking. Like you have more weaknesses than your one strength, but your one strength is so strong that you could still be a hero. Like if I punch bad guy with the strength I have now, although I'm decently strong, like, but it's not as strong as Superman. Like if Superman punches a villain, he can knock him out cold. I mean, you didn't just come up with the weakness I did, but I just.
Your weakness would be?
What?
You become vulnerable when you read comic books.
No, I just want to read comic books.
Bullshit. Or okay, you're only invulnerable when you're upset. Let's go with that.
Okay.
You're only invulnerable when you're upset. So when you're mad, that's the only time that's the only time where you can be. Yeah.
So I'm the Hulk.
You're a Hulk, just without the super strength.
Okay. What's yours?
I want gravity manipulation.
Okay.
So the only thing I want to do is be able to crush things with gravity. That's it.
Okay.
So if I can crush things
every time you do that, you age backwards.
Oh God, that's so okay. What's the duration I go backwards?
Oh, I can't make it. It has to be less than a year, right? Because you just every time you'd be dead. 1 month.
Ooh.
So every time you do it, you go down by 1 month. Now you might just do it for you might just go on a spree just so you could be 16 again, but then you can't do it for a while.
But but at some point your powers do get a little. Okay, I have something better. Every time I exhaust my powers, I turn into a baby, and I age twice as fast. So watch this, right? So let's
Then
say
you could
if I
die faster too.
none well to age me up to go back to where my current age is.
Okay.
I can reset essentially.
You know what? We're not going to record this anymore. Let's just start getting some comic book ideas and write our own.
Yo, like
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's write it. You could draw it. Let's do it.
let's do it. But I'm like, think about how. Go ahead.
I was going to say, look out for it on Schnabel Studios.
You know, like just think about how funny that would be, right? Let's say me and you are out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you're not. We're on a mission. I just made you laugh as we're fighting, right? And I'm exhausted. Let's say I was doing too much on the last mission. We're on this new mission fighting this real powerful dude. I literally just used all my powers up and I just made you laugh.
And who would ever hurt a baby? Sketching Up is back for episode 51. Consistency is the name of the game. This is the last time, I promise last time, I will mention consistency at all. I'm Chris Schnabel with Kyle Scott here for Sketching Up. We have a lot of good things to talk about today. First, I want to do let's do a little coverage of the whole podcast network here. So we are brought to you by Schnabel Studios. You can follow Schnabel Studios on Instagram and Twitter at Schnabel Studios. I believe Instagram might be at Schnabel.studios, or maybe it's Twitter. I don't know. I should probably looked at that before I see Kyle shake his head, so we're going to go with that. Boom. And that's where you can follow us on there, and that's where you can see all this stuff. If you go back last Thursday, I did a live video for the release of what we're talking about today, which was the Super Mario Brothers movie trailer. Did just a live video, quick. Did not give a lot of my takes. I will give my takes here, but I was excited. Trust me on that one. But you can go there and follow us, and that's how you can see all this stuff and all our updates and things like that. You can also go to the YouTube page. If you're watching this, you already know about it. But if you're listening, if you go to our YouTube page, Schnabel Studios, you can see all of our podcasts, including Mad Props. You can see Offstage, all that stuff. And that's going to be on YouTube. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. That was a very quick and brief and very adjusted opening because I didn't have it written down today. But let's go over to Kyle and say, Kyle, what is up? What is happening? Are you happy to be back? We got a little consistency going.
Man, a little consistency here is lit. Yes, I'm all Gucci, man. I'm Gucci just like Roger Davis, you feel me? So it's all good.
And I'm sure 90% of the people have no idea what you're talking about there, but it's okay. You can explain it if you want, but you don't have to.
Gucci Mane's real name is Roger Davis.
There you go. That's all you need. So before we get into the Mario movie, I want to talk about Kyle texted me during the week and told me he finally watched Moon Knight. So I wanted to get his opinion on Moon Knight, and he also finally watched Doctor Strange. So let's start with Moon Knight, then go to Doctor Strange. I'll talk a little bit because I don't think we've ever discussed it on the show. I don't think I've discussed it on the show, so I can give a little bit of my opinion, but mine's going to be a little tougher because I watched it when they came out. But let's get your fresh take and opinion and questions and all that stuff.
Okay, so first things first. As a Batman fan, I can really rock with Moon Knight. I know that's their version, and I can rock with it. So you know what? I actually have a horse in this Marvel race outside of X-Men. You feel me? So I can actually say that without any biases now. I'm slowly converting. It's still going to be DC. I'm still going to be big DC, but I'll give it a medium Marvel.
We're getting you over there.
You know what I'm saying? No. I will never fully switch. I can't switch.
We'll get you over there.
It's Batman, bro. Like Batman is Batman Justice League is the only thing keeping me at DC, keeping it being. I'm really gonna be honest with you. Everything else
connect with that. Being a rich white male.
Just a dude that likes to go rogue and do whatever he wants to, and has no consequences for his actions.
It's because he's a multi-billionaire. Of course, there's no consequences. We've seen multi-billionaires that have no consequences. We've talked about multi-billionaires that have no consequences.
100%, but I can only relate in the fact of just wanting to wild out and wanting to have no consequences. Everything else, I have no relation on. but it's fun to watch though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love
really
Batman too. I'm just playing with you.
Oh no, it's all good. I actually okay, just a 2 second tip. It's funny
Okay.
because me and somebody at my job always have an argument. Because her favorite person is Iron Man, and mine is Batman, and she always be talking about how Batman ain't nothing because he's just a rich white dude, and he's just a rich white dude playing vigilante, beating people up, right? So this is what I said. I said all Tony Stark is a rich white dude who plays with toys.
Well, whoever had that take doesn't even know what character they like because that's like his whole thing. But also Batman, I mean, Batman became great because of the animated series and the movies and stuff, not as much the comics, but Iron Man became big because of the comics. I mean, I was a big Marvel fan before the MCU came around, and Iron Man wasn't even on my radar back then. We're talking about late 90s, early 2000s was when I was really in my peak, and it wasn't really even a thought back then. It was Captain America, Hulk. We've talked about this many times on the show. Captain America, Hulk, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, Wolverine. What am I missing? I'm definitely missing a couple, but like that was Marvel. You know, that was the top people in Marvel. Thor was always big. I can't think all the time, but that it wasn't really Iron Man. Wasn't really one of those where people were like, "Oh, my favorite person's Iron Man." Like that was when Robert Downey Jr. took over the mantle. It's when everybody was like, "Oh yeah," and the movies are fantastic. So like, it makes sense that he became so big. And Marvel knew that going into it. They knew that they picked like an obscure hero to start with, and I think it's because like, I mean, they started with the Hulk, who's not obscure, but like they really dove in with Iron Man, and I think that was because they were like, if this flops, at least we didn't flop with Spider-Man or the Fantastic Four or, you know, something like that. So I think that's kind of why they decided to go in that direction, but it's worked. I mean, almost 15 years.
But outside all that, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Back to Moon Knight.
Back to Moon Knight, because I was going to go on a whole tangent about Batman. But, Moon Knight. But, yeah, I really did like Moon Knight. I'm going to be honest with you. God, I forgot what his name. Homeboy with both personalities.
Oscar Isaac's character.
Mark. Mark
Yeah.
and his alternate ego.
Oh, you're killing me on this because it's been so long and I didn't read the Moon Knight comics. It's Mark Spector. Mark Spector is.
I know Mark. See, now you're gonna make me look it up.
Yeah, oh, that's good. Let's get it right. And it didn't even go really around Mark Spector. It went more around
The ego.
Yeah. And then can we do spoilers at this point? Yeah, Stephen Grant. Stephen Grant.
Okay,
I'm adventurer Stephen Grant.
So at first, I hated Steve because I'm like,
Really?
dog, you getting in the way. Yeah, because the thing is, at first I pitied him because I was like, dang, bro, your life really do suck on me. And then like when he kept waking up in random places, I'm sitting there, my brain was trying to big brain it like I did with Wanda, but I was like, I haven't seen anything from Moon Knight, so I can't even make assumptions. So I was like, fine. So when he kept waking up in random places with random things going on, I was just like, all right, homie, you do got a wild case of sleepwalking. So
I think it's a little more than sleepwalking, I'd hope. Ended up in different countries 3 days later.
Yeah. And so like, but he got on my nerves when he first became Moon Knight. And I understand all of that is new at the time. All of that is new to him and blah, 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 blah. But he just kept getting on my nerves, man. Like, I'm like, clearly Mark Spector needs to be present because y'all are some imminent danger and you think you can take this on. I'm like, oh, you ain't no trained killer dog. Mark Spector's a trained killer dog. Let the trained killer do it and then you have feelings later for the player. Like, let's make it through the day. Like, that's how I was feeling. But, like, once he kind of got a little acquainted with the power, then he got his own little suit. I thought that was pretty lit. I was like, okay, Steven, I'm gonna rock with you. Then when he did all the little geeky boy stuff with the God and all of that, I was like, all right, that's cool. And then when he changed the whole sky so he could see it for that night, so he can so they can do the whole constellation, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm happy that they have the duality. And when they both kind of like, and when I found out Steven was just an alter ego that he created because his mom kept beating him. Because first off, I've seen plenty of terrible parents in my real life and in she is the second worst parent I've seen on TV. The number one will forever be this one dude from Full Metal Alchemist. He was a Chimera. He made chimeras, and chimeras are nothing but like it's a fusion animal, like a dog crossed with a cow or something like that. You know,
Okay.
like it's just like a spliced animal. Homeboy crossed his dog with his daughter, so he could make like an intelligent dog humanoid. It was so
I'll
great.
never understand anime. I guess I won't understand until I watch.
You have to. Oh, you got to. But it's wild. Like it's wild, and when you see it, because he's like, okay, so it's like basically like this world of alchemy. You got to stay certified or government certified, and you got to take a test, and you basically got to do like whatever your alchemy is based in. His was based in chimera work, like making chimeras, and so the more successful, the better the quality of chimera he makes, the higher grade on his test he'll make, so you can keep the certification. So
one of these episodes, we're gonna have to get another person that loves anime, and you could just go off with them. Because I feel bad. You're like, I mean, I love hearing it, and I'm glad you do it, but I have no contribution other than that's crazy.
It's okay, because I do that with you in the comic book, so it's a nice little...
Yeah, it's good to both sides. Get both sides.
Both sides. But yeah, so long story short, for his test, he ends up crossing his daughter. He basically kills his daughter and puts his daughter, infuses his daughter with his household dog. It was so terrible.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But
He ends up
let's
like,
get before we get too far off track. I was gonna say before we get too far off track, what is your overall thought of Moon Knight?
Oh yeah, but I was saying that to say she was the second most worst parent I've ever seen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, go back to it then.
That's the only reason why
I don't even remember why you got into this.
I'm going to give you a quick thing because that's the reason why I said she's the second worst parent. But like her blaming her son for the other kid dying, I was like, that's not fair. Because
no, it was the dad. Wasn't it the dad that did that?
Oh, mom. Because remember, mom went crazy.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking he drowned. I'm thinking of the John Cena one, which is another show you need to watch. It's so great. It's so great. But sorry, so I just got confused with bad parenting because that one's pretty bad parenting as well. So
yeah, it's a lot of superheroes.
Peacemaker, by the way, Peacemaker. So good, so unbelievably good.
But yeah, and then her blaming her the oldest Mark for her son dying, I was like, that's so unfair. And then her basically just mistreating him and abusing him. Like I was like, all right, I know my mama used to beat me, but it wasn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I was a bad kid, so I understood most of the beating. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a destructive child. It's terrible. So it's like, I'm just like, dang, she's terrible. But my overall, oh, by the way, I love the wife. Oh, I love the wife. She's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
Fantastic.
She was a beast. What else? Yeah, but overall, I really did like Moon Knight. I really want to see more Moon Knight because I like Steven's version of Moon Knight. Like that is really cool how he just pops back and forth, and you just see the both personalities because they got a distinct suit. And I love the whole like Egyptian gods and all of that. And like when it was true that homeboy was right, that the moon god was right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else was wrong when the Gator chick tried to take over. I don't know their names, but I know.
That's fine. I like this better.
But at least you know I watched it.
I like it better. I like it better. The gator chick.
You know what I'm saying? So you got like my thing was this though. Here's the connection I made when it was the Gator chick. Okay, so when I realized that Steven and Mark were separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was right before they told him that, oh, you was created because of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I was just like, why does he keep saying later Gator to his mama? Right? And why every time something happens, he calls his mama? But then it made sense. After that, I was like, yo, that makes sense because Steven put his mom on a pedestal because he you know what I'm saying? Like when they really explained it, and I was like, dang, that's crazy. Like it's just so wild. But yeah, like the later Gator and then the Gator chick popping up, and I was like, oh, later Gator, they're gonna take her out. It's a nice little Easter egg that he's gonna take her out. Oh, that's good. Okay, got my nerd on for a minute.
Perfect.
What else?
So I would have to say your overall was that you really liked it.
I give it a good 8.5 out of 10. I really liked it.
So 8.5 out of 10. Let's switch over to Doctor Strange, which I have the poster right behind me, by the way. So the thing with Doctor Strange is, I will say my opinion really quick. First of all, with Moon Knight, I also really enjoyed it. I thought the Tomb episode and the Penultimate episode were two of the best episodes of the entire series. I thought the last episode was a little lackluster, but I think it's because the penultimate episode was so good. That second to last episode was so good that the final episode just felt like less because they had to wrap up the story. Like in the second to last one, you can leave off with a cliffhanger because there's another episode. But with the last episode of the season, you can't leave with too big of a cliffhanger because there still needs to be, you don't even know if there's going to be a next season at that point. So I liked it too. I really enjoyed it as well. I thought it was really good. Doctor Strange, I really enjoyed when I first saw it. This is the reason I go in with no expectations anymore. I think a lot of people do now because there were such high rumors and expectations for Doctor Strange, and it met almost none of them. But the expectations we gave it were so high, they were unrealistic. And when I rewatched it for the second time, I realized that I actually really enjoyed it. It was just, I was so expecting so much and didn't get it. And then when I watched it again, I was like, actually, this is a very good movie. It's just, you expect so much from it that it doesn't seem that good. So now I'll let you go and tell us about your watching of Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
I liked it, and honestly, I'm happy that I'm one of those people that I wait till the hype dies down.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I am not going to see that Black Panther at theaters. No,
I am 100%.
I can't do it. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I live in Atlanta. They're going to be so extra.
So I want to switch gears really quick. You sent me a video of the Black Panther theory that Doctor Doom is the one that's... So that theory is... do you want to explain it really quick for the listeners? I kind of just went past it really quick. Do you want...
Let you explain it better because I know you can really go for it.
Okay.
You know all the comic books and the lore and things.
So
I knew you would get it.
Namor, I think it is. He the rumor that you sent me is you see in the ads that he's attacking and he seems like the main villain, and the conspiracy theory, I guess you could say, that you sent me is it's Doctor Doom is the real main villain, and his army are the army soldiers you see in Wakanda trying to take the vibranium and stuff like that. And it's actually the big bad is going to be Doctor Doom, and you'll see that at the end, and he'll be like, whatever. He'll be like when Thanos first appeared in the MCU, and it's actually not what you think it is. And that was not too far off base from the rumors that came out when the first trailer dropped. And when a lot of the photos and stuff were dropping, that everyone kind of assumed it was going to be Doctor Doom is actually there, and Namor is actually not going to be the big bad. It's going to be part of it. They're going to be fighting, but then they're going to realize they're fighting for the same thing and team up or something like that. And he's kind of more of an anti-hero anyway, which a lot of these new characters seem to be. You know, we're just talking about Moon Knight is a big anti-hero, and a lot of these characters that are coming out are going to be anti-heroes. So your theory you sent me, and you're like, this is wild. It would be crazy because there hasn't been a scent or a talk about it, but it's, from what I've seen, and I follow this stuff pretty deeply, it's been, you know, talked about like a lot, that's the way they're thinking of going, or that's the way a lot of people think they're going to go, is that Doctor Doom's army is going to try to steal the vibranium. My theory on the movie, I'm not going to go into any of that stuff, because I'm not going to, after Doctor Strange, I'm not going to try to guess what's happening in a movie. I'm just going to watch it and enjoy it or hate it.
For kicks and giggles. We have a podcast, bro, for kicks and giggles.
But but that conspiracy I haven't even thought of. But I have thought of what I think the movie's going to be about. I think it's a 3-hour movie. So I think for the first maybe 45 minutes to an hour is going to be the death of T'Challa and the funeral and the services and a very good homage and everything to him, and then seeing Wakanda without their king. The second little part of it's going to be the turmoil it causes, which might be towards the end of that first hour as well. It might be the turmoil it causes, the grip on Wakanda is slipping because they don't have one ruler, and all these people think they should be ruler, which, by the way, should just lead to the fight at the fountain again, you know, whatever. I think the third part is going to be where they start getting attacked and have to come together, and the last half of the movie is going to be that. It's going to be about the attacks and them overcoming. So it's going to be like 3 parts. It's going to be the fall of the king, the fall of the king, the whatever from that, the fallout from that. Thank you. And then what happens after, like what brings them back together. And that's my theory. So I don't have any theories on the big bad. I do have a feeling we'll see Doctor Doom because we see Ironheart in it as well. So I do think we might see Doctor Doom. I think this might be like in Guardians. I think it was when you first see him. It's very quickly. It's like a glimpse of his face, and he talks really quick. You hear Josh Brolin's voice. That's what I think we're going to see in this, because it is leading to Secret Wars, which is completely centered around Doctor Doom, and I'd assume they'd use the newer version where because they're kind of talking about multiverses and universes kind of falling apart and stuff like that. So in that Secret Wars, the universes are collapsing. So he creates this safe space called Battle World, and he takes in, I don't remember if it's the best warriors, or he brings people there. And he's the ruler of Battle World. And the heroes that are still survive on Battle World come together to take him down. And, you know, that's like the whole story. So that makes sense that he'd be coming in, and this just seems like an easy transition into it, because him trying to steal the vibranium makes a lot of sense if he's trying to become a ruler or something like that. I will give you one conspiracy theory about Doctor Doom. I think we've already seen him in the MCU. It wasn't specified who it is, but I think we've already seen him. I think we're going to see somebody that's going to come back. I don't know. My theory, though, is like he's been somewhere very small, maybe even backgroundish character that we've seen in the MCU that's going to end up being Doctor Doom. It just seems like a real MCU thing to do. Obviously, that wouldn't really be canon to the comics at all, because like that's not how that works. But I just have a feeling we're gonna see he's gonna have been in it in some way, shape, or form already, and then he was just, you know, in the background, or he was in a quick scene, or maybe it was like a cut scene that we didn't realize was more important than it was, which is something Marvel loves to do. So don't be surprised if we see a character come back and it's actually Doctor Doom that's that character. But we'll see. That's something I've theorized. I think it was since Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight was when I was like, one of these characters might be Doctor Doom. Victor Von Doom. which I'm excited for Doctor Doom to come in. That's who I wanted to be the first big bad for anybody that remembers me back in the beginning of the MCU when we all found out it was basically going to be Thanos. But Thanos was cool too, so it's all good. But anyway, I hope my theories and explanations helped you at all. I know you're a big conspiracy theory guy.
That stuff, man. What you mean? I love that kind of stuff, bro. That's all I look on Instagram for. It's just that kind of stuff. So
It's just conspiracies.
Oh, I love them because they're so fun just to think about. But
just give us a quick on Doctor Strange, because I think we just went completely off. Well, not off topic really, but I started with give me your opinion, and then we just went in completely different directions. So give a nice quick 2 minutes on Doctor Strange and what you thought.
Here's the fun thing about our conversations: they always correlate.
Yeah, we get back. Yeah. Sometimes the circle takes a little longer, and it takes a couple episodes, but we get back.
Yeah, bro, it's sketching up. Sometimes you gotta, go a little outside.
Sketching down or sketching in circles. It's sketching up. Straight to the top.
But I did like it, and I liked how they incorporated a lot of other characters from different universes and all of that kind of deal. I thought that was cool with that little Illuminati, you know what I'm saying, where they had all those characters, those smart characters.
Well, when they were in it for 5 seconds.
Yeah, I was like, come on. What else? One thing I do hope, this is just a personal thing, I probably extend it.
Go ahead.
I really hope they do bring X-Men into the Marvel Universe.
Well, that's happening. It is happening, confirmed. The X-Men are coming in.
Here's my personal thing. I know it most likely won't happen because they're too obscure of characters. 3 things I want to see.
Okay.
There's 3 characters I want to see.
Okay.
I see Nightcrawler. I need Nightcrawler to have his own movie because I love his story. That's my favorite.
I don't know. I don't know if you're getting that one.
I know I won't get that one. That's it's too obscure.
You should Hey, you say a movie, you'll settle for a TV show.
I'll take a TV show.
Would you take the animated Disney Plus TV show?
I'll take the animated one. I love the animated Marvel. But my thing is okay. So my 3 favorite is no, and this is no order. Nightcrawler, Cable, Bishop. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Cable in something. He has to be in something with Deadpool.
Well, Deadpool 3 is coming out. We talked about it last episode, so he's still alive in Deadpool 2.
I need that, and I need them to do one of the future X-Men so I can see my boy Bishop. That's all.
I'll tell you now, if they're going to move Cable into the MCU with Deadpool, it has to be in a Deadpool movie because he has to break the 4th wall on it. Because Josh Brolin played Thanos. And they actually do that in Deadpool 2. He grabbed and said, listen, Thanos, because, breaking the 4th wall. That would be the only way you can bring in Josh Brolin or you'd have to get a new Cable. I liked him as Cable. I thought he was pretty good in that movie. I enjoyed Deadpool 2. Deadpool 1, I think Deadpool 1 would have been better, but I did enjoy Deadpool 2.
I don't care, man. Bring him back. I don't care who plays it. I just want a good Cable.
Just want him there. Well, was he good? Did you think he was good in Deadpool 2?
I did like him in Deadpool.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Well, let's get to the main event here. At least the main event for me, and that is that Nintendo finally dropped the Mario movie trailer. It was about, I think, 2.5 minutes. They dropped it at Comic-Con, but they also did it in Nintendo Direct for everybody to see. So they just live dropped it everywhere. They live dropped it there. They live dropped it in the NYC store. They live dropped it online. It was everywhere. So, if you are a follower of Schnabel Studios, that's where all of our social media is, by the way. The Sketching Up social media is on Schnabel Studios. So if you were a follower of that, you saw I did a live stream or live whatever Instagram does to kind of give my live reactions. And I didn't give too much, but I thought it'd be a fun thing to do. So do you want to go first? Because I think I'll have a lot more to say on this because Mario is my thing. But I know you did watch it. I sent it to you. We have not talked a cent about it. I keep saying a cent. I don't think that's an actual saying. It is now. We haven't talked a cent about it. So I'm going to hear your opinions for the first time. So if I interrupt with, "Are you kidding me?" That's because I have no idea what he's going with. So Kyle, the floor is yours before it becomes mine. Go ahead.
Mine's mad quick. I liked it. I think it's gonna be a little cool little movie. You know, like I was one of those kids that used to play a lot of Mario. I was always Luigi. I was never Mario because I had older siblings. So I was always, but yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty cute with the whole penguins, and they're like, "Your glass is only a fraction of our fury," you know. And then just nukes the whole place. Just sits there, just flames it all up. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, I liked it. I think it's going to be a cool little movie, and hopefully it does well, so we can see other movies similar to that. Because when I seen, I promise it's going to spiral back. I know we keep going on slight tangents. I promise it's going to spiral back. Have you ever seen the movie? It has Ryan Reynolds in it.
Detective Pikachu.
The one where he's the NPC.
Free Guy. It's a great movie. It's fantastic.
I love that movie. So speaking of that, if we can have a good Mario movie, we need to get like a Mario cross with Free Guy. Like we need to just go ahead and get Free Guy.
That can't happen because Free Guy is Disney, unfortunately, and Free Guy's Disney, and Mario will be Illumination. So it would take an MCU type of crossover. But you know, a movie you can compare it to that I thought was really good was, I really enjoyed Sonic 1 and 2. Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 are excellent movies. And they're crossovers with the real world. Do you want me to just start my thing, and you can jump in whenever you want? Because I have a lot that I'll tell you what I thought. Yeah. Then we'll do a little breakdown, and we can do the breakdown together. And then I'll give and you love conspiracies. I will tell you what I truly believe this, think that the movie's going to be about. I truly think the movie's going to be about. All right. So you'll have to be on the timer right now because I'm not going to be looking at the time. I'm just going to go. All right. Okay. So my first initial reaction was, it looks good, but you know what my initial reaction was? I wanted more. And that's what you want from the trailer. A good trailer makes you want more. When they showed at the end, for anybody that hasn't seen it, maybe we'll post it in the link below so you can pause it here, watch it, and come back if you haven't seen it. We're not spoiling anything because it's a trailer, so it's free to everybody. At the end, when they showed Luigi, I was like, no, that can't be the last thing they're going to show, right? Like, there's got to be more. There has to be more. So it made me want more. So that's my opinion on it. I wanted more. So I must have thought it was pretty good. So let's break it down piece by piece really quick. So in the very beginning, we see Bowser's, it doesn't look like a ship. It looks like Bowser's castle is flying in the sky, and he has his Koopa minions and Magic Koopa there, and they're at the penguins. I can't remember what the name of the penguins are. I should have this all written down. That's bad on my part. They go to the kingdom, the ice fortress, and they're clearly, Bowser's looking for something. And you don't know if he's looking for something or about to take over, but we find out he's looking for something. So they get there, and like you said, the penguins come out, and they throw a bunch of snowballs at them. And like, this is just a little bit of our fury. Will you, whatever, concede, surrender? And he says, I don't think I will. And Jack Black as Bowser was fantastic in that little piece. I was like, whoa. Like, I didn't expect, like, you think Jack Black, I didn't expect that. So I was like, that is good. That is good. I'm going to love Jack Black as Bowser. So he blows off the door, and he gets a superstar, and he's like, who's going to stop me? And then, goes on, and you see Mario come out, and he sees he's at the Mushroom Kingdom. He's looking around. We hear Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's voice doesn't really sound as Italian. It sounds more like a Brooklyn accent, which, for people that don't know, Mario is from Brooklyn. He's a plumber from Brooklyn in in the games. Like, that's what his backstory is. So I guess they went more in that direction. Go ahead. Yeah, yes. Kyle.
So funny though?
Yeah.
This is how you knew I grew up in Georgia. Dog, we all thought he was Mexican.
That's actually, a lot of people thought that too. A lot of people, because he doesn't talk, like, he doesn't really talk, but that's not crazy to think, because I've seen that too. A lot of people But he has the Italian accent, so everyone thinks he's Italian. But if you look at his actual bio, he's a plumber from Brooklyn, right? So, and then you see Toad. Toad's pretty funny. He says, "Don't touch that, you'll die." And then he's like, "Oh, never mind." And then they go and they're going to the Mushroom Kingdom, and then that's it. That's all we get to see. We get to hear Chris Pratt for about 2 seconds. Like I said, he has more of like a Brooklynish accent, it sounds like. And then we see Luigi running, and we hear Charlie Day kind of like, ah. That's all we hear from him as Luigi. So we didn't really get a good taste of that either. That's the whole thing. Chris Pratt, I'm still not sold on. Oh, the design, too, of Mario, I wasn't sold on. I don't mind it, but the face looks off. I don't know if you saw that as well. Like, the face looks wider than I would, because if you look at Mario, his mustache kind of goes all the way across, but in this, it's kind of shortened. Looks like Kyle's going to look it up really quick and let us know. But I think the face looked a little wider.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I had with it, though. That's the only thing I really had with it. Everyone talks about how his butt is flat, and in the games, his butt's not flat. It's so funny.
Yeah, no, hey, man, I'm going to be real with you. They did do my man's dirt because, yeah, man, he got nothing. He still leg day.
Yeah, he definitely does. And with how high he jumps, you wouldn't think he does. He could double jump. He could double jump. I mean, that's crazy. But, no, but I that was the only thing with the design that I really saw that I was like, it looks a little off. Is I think his face is too wide, but that's something that could be fixed. I mean, we all saw what happened with Sonic, and they fixed that. So I wouldn't be too. I wouldn't think it's too crazy if that happened. So I'll give, like I said, my opinion. I really liked it. I liked all the voices I've heard so far. I didn't hate Chris Pratt's voice. There are some people that don't mind it, and there are some people that hated it. Obviously, that's what the internet does. I didn't mind it. I don't think I saw enough to give a real opinion on Chris Pratt's voice. There wasn't really you got like 2 seconds. Like, I need more than that. I need to hear what's going on. So now I'm going to get into the part that Kyle's kind of drooling for me to get to, and that's more of my conspiracy theory part, which is this will probably be where the episode comes to an end, because this is going to be a chunk play. This is where we're going to be. So it's not really conspiracy theory, but this is my thought on what's going to happen in the movie. And if you guys are avid listeners, and I know Kyle goes in one ear out the other probably with some of these episodes, I actually gave this conspiracy theory when they first announced the Mario movie, and we went over the voice actors and everything. Do you remember that? See?
No,
All right.
It's not that it goes through one ear and out the other.
Correct.
My brain processes so much information on a daily
That's
basis.
what I meant by in one ear out, one out the other. I didn't mean that you don't listen. I just meant you don't care about my opinion. No, I was kidding.
I just can't remember all of your opinion from New York. You have
So I think that this is going to be. So in the trailer, you kind of see it too. So I think the movie's going to start in the real world, and you're going to have Chris Pratt as Chris Pratt, and he's, I don't know, playing. He sees an old Mario game, and he starts playing it, and then he gets brought into a Jumanji style, and that's where in the trailer we see him pop out of the pipe, and he's like, "Where am I?" Basically, he's like, "What is this?" So if it was Mario in the Mushroom Kingdom, he wouldn't be like that. He would know he's in the Mushroom Kingdom. He would know all the characters and stuff. And you can tell he doesn't really know who Toad is or anything like that. So I'm thinking it's something like that, where he gets sucked into this world. That's not like that. He's not like from it, which would make sense with Chris Pratt as well, because Chris Pratt doesn't have that classic Charles Manuette voice of Mario. So like, it's not the high pitched "let's go." Like, it's very, like I said, Brooklyn accent, still sounds like Chris Pratt. Like, and there's no change in the voice or anything like that. But it would make more sense if Mario sounded like any other one, if he sounded like that, because he's not actually Mario. He's someone that's now embodying that character. You know what I mean? So that's my big thing. And he's going to get sucked in to help the Mushroom Kingdom. Now, is it going to be more like in Jumanji, where like there were 4 characters? Like, I'm talking about the new Jumanjis, by the way, not the old ones. The new Jumanji, where like all the real world people took on the 4 different characters. So like, is Luigi also somebody? Is Peach somebody? Is Yoshi somebody? Or is he going to be sucked into this world to help them, and he's just, you know, it's just him and everybody else is just part of the game or part of this. But I really think Chris Pratt's going to be sucked in Looney Tunes Space Jam style of MJ and have to help save the Mushroom Kingdom. Now, how does that translate to a franchise? I don't know. But it's going to, because it's Illumination. But also, I was talking with somebody about Illumination doing it and how they kind of ruin movies to make franchises. And everybody talks about the Minions with this, right? The Minions are huge, they're crazy, and they've kind of destroyed franchises. Because now cartoon franchises, are now made to sell toys to kids. But I was explaining to them, the Minions didn't destroy the movies they came from, because they came from the Despicable Me franchise and then became the Minions. So for Mario, it would be like the Mario movie and then all the Toads got a movie. That's really what it would be like. It would be like now the Toads have movies, and it kind of may ruin the Toads, but it wouldn't ruin the Mario movie. Like Gru isn't ruined from Despicable Me. It's the Minions that people hate because they're all over the place. But nobody says, like, I hate the movie Despicable Me because the Minions. They say, I don't like the Minions. It would be the same thing, like, if the Toads did it. I'd be upset because Toad is, like, a very popular character. But that's more of what it would be like. You wouldn't be like, I hate Mario because the Toads became so big. It would be like, I don't like Toads because they became such a big thing. So that's another thing I thought I'd mention there. But so what do you think? What do you think you saw the trailer? That's been my theory on the Mario movie for now 2 years or something like that. What do you think? What's your opinion on that? And by the way, for people that are loyal listeners, when it was first announced, we did an episode. Then when they announced the voice cast, we did an episode. And now they showed the trailer, we're doing an episode. So this is kind of like the first piece of media. We've been there since inception. So this is pretty cool. So what do you think about that theory? Do you have any theories of your own? Do you have anything you think there? And what's up with that?
I do hope, just for kicks and giggles, I do hope that Princess Peach is somebody that Chris Pratt does, though.
Because you don't want to be like Free Guy. Because to spoil Free Guy, which again I think came out like a year ago, he's an NPC that falls in love with a real person, and the person I think is also catching feelings for Ryan Reynolds and Free Guy, but he's not. He's an NPC. He's like not a real person. So like the feelings can't transpire in anything because it's not. You know, you fall in love with a character that's not there, and then you kind of just get left with nothing. But I think at the end, the character was based on the guy in real life or something like that, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
yeah. But so it became a happy ending anyway. But you don't want Mario to fall, like the guy that is Mario to fall in love with Princess Peach, and then she doesn't actually exist or something like that. So I get what you're saying there. But continue.
I do like that theory, though. It's a good theory. That would make for an interesting movie. But I do want I want Princess Peach to be like a girl. He's like his ex-girlfriend that he still loves, or something like that, to make it more. You know what I'm saying? Or like he met this, or like, you know, something like that. Well, I just don't want it to be.
Think about the top video game movies that are coming out now, or some of the top, I should say. I don't know if they're the top, but some of the top. Detective Pikachu takes place in the real world, kind of mixes the two. Sonic takes place in the real world, mixes the two. So, and like I said, Jumanji, very big movie. The first one was great. Like, it's sucked into the thing, and it's like, I don't know, it just seems like that's kind of the trend also. Like, these video game movies are mixture of real world and the cartoon world. I don't know how you would do that other than the way I just said with Mario. It wouldn't make sense to have a humanoid character out in the real world with humans, and it would look like almost like the Smurfs, kind of like just Smurfs even. Like, they shouldn't look like humans. Like, if you had a human character with a human actual, it would look weird. We don't want the 1980s movie either, the 1985 Mario Brothers, which was just awful. So like, this is the only way I could think of where you can integrate both of them. And like you were saying, it worked in Free Guy, where they went from the video game scape to the real world scape. Although that wasn't animated, that was like real actors in the video game scape. But yeah, that's why it's been my theory for a while, and I'm glad you're on board with it. I'm surprised it didn't take you to see. That's how normal it seems like they would do that. It didn't even catch you off guard. You're like, yeah, that seems like a good one. Like, it doesn't blow my mind or anything, but I didn't think it would blow mine because it's kind of probably what it's going to be.
Most likely. I mean, a lot of media does follow just a general formula.
Yeah.
Especially like what's trendy,
what's successful.
You want to see.
What's successful is what you want to do. Like and it being Illumination, you know they're looking for 3 Mario movies and like 10 spinoffs. Now, my fear is that Yoshi becomes a spinoff because Yoshi is my favorite character in Mario, and I don't want him to be ruined with spinoffs. Who's your favorite character in the Mario games? You said Luigi?
Well, I like Luigi. I'm a Luigi guy.
I was a big Luigi guy. I've always been a homer with Mario. I have always been a big Mario guy. Like, Yoshi is my favorite character. But when you're talking about, like, playable characters for the most part, I've always been a Mario guy. And he's just the most average, too. So, like, he doesn't jump the highest, but he jumps higher than the fastest character. You know what I mean? Like, he has just a combination of usually all the characters and stuff like that. Although in Mario 3D World, I do use Peach because Peach has the flutter. So, like, when you go on top, you're trying to get the top of the flag, you can always flutter to the flag and drop onto it. So if you don't have the cat suit, that's just a little strategy, though. It's not because it's a favorite character or anything like that. But yeah, Yoshi's my favorite. I like Mario. I like Rosalina, too. Big Rosalina. Big Rosalina guy over Peach, by the way.
Okay. Do
you have a favorite princess?
Donkey Kong is on there.
What's up?
That's your favorite princess?
I said, do you have a favorite princess? Of Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, the one from the original. What the hell is her name? I think there's 4 or 5 of them. No, you don't even care. Just save them. Save them and on to the next. I thought you'd be Daisy because you like Luigi, and that's like his girl.
I didn't want to be like that person.
That's fine. Donkey Kong, I don't know what you said about Donkey Kong, but Donkey Kong is in the movie. I don't remember who he's played by.
So it's Luigi and Donkey Kong too.
Let's see who he's played by in the movie, because I don't remember off the top of my head. Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen will be Donkey Kong.
So Donkey Kong and Luigi are my 2 favorites.
By the way,
Luigi.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, I'm going to make a point.
Luigi, I played with Luigi a lot, but I do like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
A little bit more than Luigi, but not too much.
A lot of people are big Donkey Kong fans. I like Donkey Kong too, but Yoshi's my guy. So Seth Rogen. A lot of people think, like, when you think Seth Rogen, you think the stoner movies and stuff like that. He is in Invincible as Alan the Alien, and if you've seen Invincible or if you read Invincible, you'd know who Alan the Alien is. At first, he's kind of goofy as a character, but then he's a big character in the comic series. And I just rewatched Invincible again because the first time I watched it, I kind of like watched through and like just kind of got through it, and it drew me in and stuff like that. But I watched it again just to rewatch it, and then in the show, like, he could be a little goofy, but like, he doesn't use his usual Seth Rogen voice. And for people that are worried, like, he's just going to be a stoner Donkey Kong, I don't think... Seth Rogen's a good actor. He's a good actor, but people don't think about it because of the movies he's been in, but he's actually a pretty good actor. So I think he's going to be fantastic as... I'm not... After seeing Bowser, this is how great Jack Black was. After seeing Bowser, it lowered any worry I had about the voice acting. Like, I'm so okay with the selections because the first one was so... That first one we were able to hear went so well. That could also be bad, though. He could have just been the best one, and like they put him in the trailer. So people are like, okay, so if he's good, they're all good. But all right, you said you had something that you've been watching. We can wrap up in a little bit here. You said you had something you were watching that you wanted to talk about, or was it the Doctor Strange?
It was the Moon Knight, Doctor Strange.
Moon Knight, Doctor Strange.
I did watch something. Oh man, I forgot.
I just threw it all up. So I will make an announcement here. I've been reading Rogue Sun, which I talked about last time, and I went to go get the next issue, and it became subscription only at the comic shop I'm at. So I have not been able to read the next issue, and if you are a reader of Rogue Sun, make sure you check, because that may not be in your comic book shops anymore. It might be subscription only, which means you have to sign up for their subscription to get that thing. So I can also recommend Zeb Wells' Spider-Man. Zeb Wells just wrote a recent episode of She-Hulk. He's one of the top guys in Marvel right now, and he's writing The Amazing Spider-Man, and he's doing a very good job bringing a lot of old characters back, kind of revamping the character while still keeping him at his core, which is really nice. And I've really enjoyed it, and Zeb Wells is doing a good job, in my opinion. So that's kind of what my recommendation would be. I'm pretty sure I've recommended Zeb Wells' Spider-Man before on this podcast, but you know what? It deserves to be done again, especially because I can't remember if I did or not. So, do you remember what it was, or you're done? You don't got it.
I'm sitting here trying to sit here and think about it, but it's not. Yeah, it's not nothing out the regular that I always watch.
Okay, well, in that case, then I've been Chris Schnabel. That's been Kyle Scott. You can follow us on Schnabel Studios, Instagram, Twitter. We have Facebook, but that hasn't been updated in a while. Maybe we'll get back to doing that. So definitely check us out there. You can listen to old episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you find your podcasts. And we will see you next time on Sketching Up. See you guys later.